it's me, Lala Lottie, and welcome back to another video. So for today's video, I thought I'm gonna start off a series, and this is gonna be a what have I been reading series, where I basically talk about some series every month that I found and I've really enjoyed and I wanted to recommend to you guys. Maybe at some point I'll add in like what have I been watching, but honestly I haven't been watching too much anime recently. Like, yeah, anime's just not been too up there for me. I haven't been interested in watching too much series lately, but Beastars 2 is coming on to Netflix soon, so maybe next month. Anyway, for this episode, I'm going to be talking about two series, and these are going to be two josei series. So, let's get into them. Okay, just in advance, I do want to apologize for my voice because it does sound kind of phlegmy right now. I'm not 100% at my best health right now. I kind of have like a cold. I don't have the forbidden C word, okay? I'm safe, I'm healthy, I do not have that. I just have common cold, it'll go away soon, and my voice will be hopefully sounding better in the next video. So just get used to it for today, guys. So without further ado, let's dive into the first manga series that is Sweat and Soap. Now, a lot of you have probably heard of this manga on TikTok because recently it's blown up. And I've seen this series in stores quite a few times. I've seen the cover and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? I'm not gonna go pick that up. But after seeing so many people talk about it on TikTok, I really wanted to check it out. I guess curiosity got the better of me. And honestly, I'm so glad it did. So, the gist of Sweat and Soap is really that this is about a sweat fetish, about like a smelling fetish, and honestly, I love it so much. I don't have one, guys, I don't have one, but the way they work it in this manga is so fucking beautiful. I love it so much. So basically we follow this guy who has this fetish for just smelling people, and we have this girl, and basically she has this very strong odor and she is absolutely ashamed of it. She works at a toiletry maker, and basically she uses all their products to try and mask her smell. So basically, I guess you already know where this is going. This guy is like one of the main directors at the toiletry place that she's working at, and he catches a whiff of her smell and he absolutely loves it. So basically they go from there and we start to see a relationship bloom between these two, and oh my god, did they do it so well. Now, one thing I love about my romance manga is that I don't want it to be too cutesy, lovey-dovey, childlike. I feel like reading a lot of those high school kind of romance manga when I was younger, that was okay back then, but as you get older and you start to deal with real relationships, you want to see more realistic style relationships that are a bit more adult, a bit more natural, if you get me, not too cutesy lovey-dovey. At some points you do see that trope of the boy being the more popular guy and the girl being the least popular one, and that kind of trope of, ooh, I'm not too good for you, that does come into play at some points. But honestly, that is not a defining point of this manga, and I feel like it's just a small part that got put in there, and it was done well. I'm just gonna say that much. I don't want to give it slander because honestly this manga is amazing, and I've only read volume 1. I really want to go out and buy other volumes after reading this. Now, speaking of this manga, I do want to say this is a 16 plus. If you are under the age of 16, please do not read this. This is not your average lovey-dovey cutesy romance manga. It does get quite smutty at points, and if you're not prepared for those scenes, do not watch it. I'm just gonna tell you that much now. But yeah, from reading this manga, I can tell you I have a new favorite manga trope, and that is Boy falls in love with girl and absolutely loves her biggest insecurity and helps her find love in her insecurity. Like this trope that they have just introduced to me that I've never seen before. I love it. It's so cute. It's so adorable. And honestly, I'm so glad I picked this up because it is so cute and amazing. Please, please pick up Sweat and Soap. Do not get put off by like the sweat or smelling someone fetish. It is really good and is well worth your time. Now that we finished talking about that series, let's get on to the second series that I wanted to talk about today. And this series I actually do not have any physical copies of. I'm pretty sure this series does not have any physical print at the moment, but that series is Sesame, Salt and Pepper. Boy, when I tell you, I absolutely loved the idea of this manga before I even picked it up. So for those of you who have not heard of this manga, it is basically about a guy who is 40 years old and a girl who is 22, and they both get drunk and they accidentally marry each other. Such a cute idea, right? Now I know the theme of that may sound uncomfortable to you, but honestly, I feel like there is nothing else kind of weird that happens in this relationship. Yeah, sure, the way they meet is a bit weird, but honestly, the way that the mangaka has played out the story after that is absolutely amazing, and I do recommend this series. So basically, we follow this 40-year-old and this 22-year-old who end up living together, and they're married. They don't really want to be in a relationship with each other, but they're stuck with each other, and as they stay together, we start to see a relationship form between the two, and it's absolutely beautiful because this is an age gap romance, but it doesn't do the thing where most age gap romances are between a older man and a very young girl who is underage and is a bit sus. It actually does a good job of showing a relationship between two adults that just kind of has a big age gap. This manga really focuses on the taboo of how age gap is looked by different people, how many people are not really supportive of it, but people are. There are people who are supportive of it and there are people who are not, and there are going to be people who will not understand it. But at the end of the day, the love between these two characters is beautiful, and it's understandable why these two are together, and how even after the awkward meeting that they really do love each other despite their difference in age gap, and the fact that, yeah, sure, they may not have a lot in common. These two have strong opinions about each other that draw each other in towards each other. Also, what I found really interesting was the older guy in this manga is so supportive of the girl, and he only wants what's best for her. He has no control over her at all, and kind of she tries to be the controlling one in the relationship, but not too controlling that is problematic. She tries to lead the relationship in a way, and I find that absolutely beautiful. And it's such a nice manga to see that takes such a taboo that I see in manga that is one of my main drawbacks that makes me think I really don't want to check this out, and it just does it so well. Like, at the point of reading this at the moment, I've given this manga an 8, and honestly I think by the time it finishes it could go up to a 10, because this is one of the best done romances I've personally read. But I do want to say, if you do have a problem with age gap romances, I do not recommend reading this. But I do want to say it's not a problematic one. They're both consenting adults, and it's just such a good story. Please read it. That's all the detail I want to get into for this video. I don't want to go spoiling too much manga for you guys, because I feel like with a lot of videos I do, I want to talk about so many series in so much more detail and just give every single point I can about it. But then if I do that, like the Shoujo Tsubaki video, it would not be a recommendation but more of just a So this happened and you don't have to read it now. So maybe I could include a bit more detail in the future, or maybe do kind of a spoiler video for people who have read and watched these things that I check out, and talk about these things in a lot more detail. But for now, I'm gonna just stick to the light-hearted videos that are very short and sweet, and just hope you guys will pick up these series and check them out. So from today's video, I really hope you take my advice and you go out and you read these series, because honestly, they are so well worth your time. I cannot describe how amazing these series are. Please check them out, come back to this video and tell me how you feel about them. Anyways, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna have a fab day, and I hope you guys do too. And farewell, friendy eye.